When I came across this game, it instantly reminded me of one of my favorite shows, OK K.O. From the character designs, the humor, and the story. But it's also this action sports RPG, a wild mix of stuff that I'd never seen or played before, but so much here was looking damn good, so I gave it a play. And yeah, this is to be known because this has some stuff to it. But first, there's this combat overview. In these series of videos I go over just that, the combat. It should be a visual manual and give a more in-depth look into what a game has to offer, because too many reviews gloss over gameplay, calling it a button masher, or giving it the blanket statement, it's like DMC. Okay, so square would do our standard toss, pretty simple, but we can take it a step further. If you hold forward during the throw, you'll toss a fastball, which will lead into a hard knockdown. And if you hold back instead, you'll toss a slow ball. These are super good to mix up your timings, obviously, but are super useful to bait out options or catch opponents off guard. Now holding square would do a charge throw. Notice it won't hard knockdown, but instead it will give them a status effect like burn, electrified, and so on. And just like regular throws, we can also affect the toss speed on our charge attacks. Okay, so when a match starts, and if you and opponent try to grab the same ball, you'll go into this clash and gotta mash it out, see who wins it. Now, even though we got this line in the middle, we can walk over it to the opposite side and grab the ball. But you'll automatically and slowly walk back after a certain point, which will leave you open. But any ball you grab on enemy side will be dropped automatically as well. So if you travel over and grab a ball, just toss it as soon as you grab it. But yeah, definitely a good way to prevent them from getting it themselves. But yeah, now onto our defenses. Well, actually, one more thing on square. So a strat you can do is you can toss your ball to block an enemy's toss. The thing is, this will just stop from both of you hitting each other, leading into a stalemate. So what we can do instead is jump with X. To not only dodge that oncoming ball, but to also have our ball be tossed over theirs and hit them. Pretty cool, but also some characters would do a quick little sidestep instead of that jump. For different characters means different movement options. Now X has another use, so when you get knocked back, you can tech that fall with X, letting it back up, keeping the pace going. Okay, so now in circle, we can actually parry / counter a toss. You gotta face the ball to actually parry it, but 90% of the time, you're facing a single direction, so you'll be fine. Alright, but during that parry, you're invulnerable. So any extra ball during that successful parry will also be caught or reflected. But if the timing is just off, it's fine because we can parry and catch back to back with these. And again, just like the different movement options we have, our teammates have different parries. For example, she will kick it back instead of catching it, or this other girl who will have to preemptively hold circle instead, since she has a baseball bat to swing, and you gotta time your release to hit it back. Now you want to use these options because being too passive and letting each ball fly past you means the knocked out enemies behind will grab them instead, and now you're surrounded and gotta split your attention. So there's that risk reward going on alongside learning people's parries. Now onto our HUD. So we got our health on top, and right below it is our ultimate. Once it's full, press L2 to do a super, which will use that entire bar, and can only be done if we have at least one ball in hand. Our ultimate meter will slowly fill on its own, but those parries will add to it by a good bit, so just more of a reason to use it. Now even enemies have their own ults too. The cool thing is, if you're skilled enough, you can parry through their entire little bullet hell they toss at you. Now catching these won't give you an extra ball to use in a fight when their ult's over, but hey, you're going to build free meter and take no damage. But we can also charge it up ourselves, so holding triangle, you'll do this key charge and gain meter. Good to use it in those little openings after you hit your opponent or a hard knockdown. While in the animation, you can quickly drop it, you counter or jump if you can react in time. The thing is, you can only key charge when there's at least one ball on the enemy side. No way it would be fair if you're holding onto all the balls and just sit there charging it up. And actually, just trying to ball hog in general isn't going to slide because they become these ticking time bombs if they're on a single side for too long. Letting them blow up will damage you. Now at the bottom left, you'll see your teammates, which also have their own meter that'll fill up slowly with yours, and pressing R2 will swap between them. Now each will have different throw arcs, halts, and even their focus key charge will be different, like it'll buff teams damage, heal, or debuff enemies. Speaking of which, we do have different enemy types. Just like our teammates, they have their own unique throw arcs. They're even vary up their throw speed, which is cool, keeping us on our toes just the same. So they got the same tools as us, making each fight pretty fun. Now to go over to the RPG part real quick. So the entire game would take place on this campus. Not an overblown one, but a nice compact map that'll open up over time. Just progress through the story's chapters, which take up a single day, and are actually called episodes. So just like the show, each day you and your friends go on these little adventures to handle. And this will both open up the map, unlock more characters for you to use both in and outside the story mode. But yeah, while this is all happening, an overarching story of the school's big tournament is being built up too. And since it is a school, the classes we have are more of a side thing for mini games. You can practice your positioning, your counters, stuff like that to help master your tools and get high score ratings. Not only that, but we'll also find side quests, which just involve more fighting, but you'll get rewards like equipment, which is nice. Now, when it comes to the battles, there's no random encounters, but there will be these spots where people will return to every day to fight again. But we do have those enemies where just passing them will anger them enough to fight you, so just handle your business. And honestly, I say fight everyone you see because the final boss is max leveled, so all these battles do add up. Now, even with all these members we got benched, don't worry because no one will be drastically left behind in levels, because after every battle, everyone is given XP. We're also given money and items too afterwards. There's also these shops you can visit to buy more gear and those items for healing or giving XP. And that equipment will have stuff to give more meter, general stat increases to our attack, agility, or defense, or more specialized stuff like being closer to the middle will give an attack boost or charge attacks dealing more damage. But yeah, the school and just the whole setting in general is awesome. You even get to talk to students hanging around, and you got some pretty funny stuff to say. And yeah, that's Dodgeball Academia. Honestly, I'm confident if enough people play it for themselves, it could be up there with Windjammers and Mario Tennis Aces, one of those games that are seen as a fighting game basically, because there is a solid base set of tools or counter plays and mix-ups, plus the different characters with unique playstyles and throw arcs and how the ults work, and with the stats how some are better with base damage or faster on the feet, or some get a lot of meter with parries and counters. Then there's a whole team aspect to choose who you want in on it, like it's King of Fighters. But also got those wild stages and ball types to mix it up, making it a little party game too. Yeah, there's just a lot here. So if having a damn good sports RPG isn't appealing enough, I say getting it for a fun versus game in your group rotation is definitely worth it for sure. So check it out if you can because it's going to be a good time.